Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour here in the evenings. And we are going to continue on the Splendid Sampler 2 quilt along. So here we are, the Splendid Sampler 2 book by Pat Sloan and Jane Davidson. You can find out more information at thesplendidsampler.com. We are working on the block by Missy Carpenter, Full Circle. So here's our block there. We just started it yesterday, and we started by getting all the freezer paper templates made. So now we can start picking the fabrics and working through the fabrics, getting the fabrics onto the little templates. We're going to get them onto these leafy templates today and the triangle templates. So I got my starch, I got my my little mini clover iron that I'm a little scared of. I kept burning myself on this last time I used it, so I'm hoping it goes a little bit better today. So we'll give it a try. But all right, guys, I'm going to flip you around. Let's get started. Let's pick some fabric. Thanks again for joining me. Okay, here are the templates from last night. I got some best press here. This is what I'm using for my starch. And I have a little bowl that I'm going to spray the starch in, and then I have some, let's see, oh yeah, I have a couple of little cotton swabs that I'm going to use just to dab on the starch. So I think that is the plan for the night. So I was reading through the directions just now, and we're going to start out by pressing the waxy side of both the triangles and these leaves. So we had that dull side and then that waxy side. The waxy side we're going to press onto the wrong side of our fabrics. So what I want to do first is pick the fabrics. I have my bin of fabric here, and I know I want to use white for the background. I'm using white for the background or the main color of all of my blocks for my quilt, so I definitely know that this back color I want white. And we kind of decided that we should do teal instead of this red, so it's going to be like a huge pop of color right in the middle here. So after that, I just want to get a little like patchworky with it. You know what? We have this blue too. That would be cute. Then it would be like a pattern blue. I kind of have my eyes set on this teal though. What do you guys think? I mean, the pattern is kind of neat. This is a big space that we're filling. You know what? I think I'm gonna do this one with the pattern in it, just because this is like a bigger area, and I think a little bit of texture with the pattern in it will be good. It still has a lot of those teals. Yeah, you know what? We're going this route. So close to the teal. This one was hiding last night. I didn't see it in there. So okay. After that, I just want to use scraps, just kind of almost grabbing for these leaves. So we need to pick the leaf colors and these little triangle colors. How they picked is first we pick a yellow, and the yellow is going to be, you know, this petal and this petal, and then this triangle and this triangle. So let's start there. I mean, all my things are kind of yellow. I think maybe I want to keep this, since we're so bright with this teal, I think I want to keep it more on the pale colors from my stash here, instead of like the super duper bright ones. So I always kind of, when I'm picking fabrics, I always kind of like to see it in proportion to what we have here. So, you know, I have a lot of white, and I have a lot of this middle color, and then just little slivers of these. So I'm just going to put like a little sliver behind here. That's pretty. Let's see, we could, you know, I always like this fabric. Might be fun to use this one again. Ooh, and this has kind of some of that blue. Maybe that goes together. Maybe that should be our main. Oh god, I like that a lot. Let's have this be our main color. So we'll have this be our yellow. And then what else do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Are these the same? Yeah, I think we just have 3 other or 4 other ones, so we can just pick from there. I do kind of like that. What other stuff is hiding? Maybe this little sweet one. So yeah, a little bit more pale for this, although I don't want it to blend in the white either. I think this is too pale. Like this is borderline right here. I'm just sort of grabbing. I didn't clean up any of this from last time. What about this yellow? That's kind of pretty. That's cute. I like that. This guy's always fun. Although I seem to remember it not being easy to paper piece, English paper piece with this particular fabric, but maybe we'll give it a go anyway. I still kind of like this one. So maybe more browns. All right, what do we got? 1, 2, 3. I need 1 more. How about this one here? No, that has too much white in. Man, I'm totally making a crazy mess here. I'm trying to use ones that I don't have a lot of, or that I do have a lot of fabric of. Maybe it's just this swirl. This swirl always does well for us. How about that? I know this kind of looks like a jumbled mess, but bear with me. My thinking is I have a lot of white in the background, so there's a lot of white, and then we get some of these slivers of all the rest of it in. So I think we might be okay. Oh, and then this will be our main one, so we'll have a little bit more of this. And we can adjust these other ones. So we'll put these to the side as our maybes. I'm going to just throw this back in because we're not going to deal with that right now. And this one we're not going to work on right now either. We are just working on the petals and the triangles right now. So to start out, we want to... Oh, and just so you guys know, I am not cutting the perfect squares or anything here, like how it has in the directions. I'm just going to stick it on wherever I have scraps. So I'm going to just kind of ease it into here. I do have some scraps, but I don't think they're big enough for a lot of this. We might have, here's my scraps. We might have some scraps that are big enough for some of the triangles, so we can maybe see, but we kind of went through the scraps last time, and I don't think I had any scraps wide enough, which is a little surprising. I thought I'd have a lot more. But all right, let's give this a press. And right away we can press, what did it say? The yellow ones. So two petals and 2 little triangles there. So let's head over to the mat. So today I put just a little towel on my mat because we are going to be... Actually, I probably don't need this now that I think of it, because the starch we're going to be doing with the clover iron. So, oh wait, yeah, we will still use the pressing mat. So I wanted to protect the pressing mat just because starch can kind of burn and stain things. So once we get using the starch, I'm going to want that there. But for right now, I don't really need that. I'm just going to flatten this out. I have the back side up because we're going to press onto the back. And okay, I need 2 petals and 2 triangles from my my little templates. So hopefully I didn't lose any of these yet. Okay, so we need to stick these on here. So the glossy, shiny, waxy side will go towards the fabric, so the dull side is up. And I need to place these so I have a good, at least 1/4 inch seam allowance around. So you know, this isn't enough because I need a 1/4 inch for both pieces. So let's sneak him in there. Then a couple triangles. We could fussy cut this, but I don't want to deal with all that. And maybe, how about like that? So those are our 4 pieces. So now, ooh, did I get all the glossy side down? Yeah. Now I'm just going to press it onto the back of the fabric. I have my hot iron here. And these are totally removable. so we don't have to worry about them sticking forever. You know, I didn't punch holes in the back of this. I was going to do that, but maybe with this one I'll stay pretty strict to the instructions in the book and see what happens. So I didn't, usually when I do English paper piecing, I punch a hole in the pieces. All right, those all seem to be stuck. But there we go. Yeah, stuck on there for now. So next up, we need to trim these out. Let's see, just reading the instructions again. Cut around each shape, adding a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So got my nice fabric scissors here. First of all, I'm just gonna kind of cut myself out of that bulk. And actually I'll do that on every side. Just kind of trim in the middle of these. I think it's a lot easier to cut stuff when it's not connected to these other pieces. So I did get these kind of close to that 1/4 inch. Okay, so usually for English paper piecing, it doesn't have to be perfect, like a perfect 1/4 inch. Like I don't have to, you know, get a ruler or anything. I'm just going to aim, and I'm going to err on the side of being a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch, just because I can always trim more off. Do I think 2 pieces are sturdy enough? You know, typically when I like 2 pieces of freezer paper, so we fuse together 2 pieces of freezer paper here to get our template piece, and the 2 pieces were for the purpose of making this like a stiffer piece. Personally, I like a little thicker than what this feels like for English paper piecing. Like I actually like using a postcard, you know, the same postcard that I've been using for foundation paper piecing. I like using that. It's just a little thicker. But, you know, the benefit of this is you do get that side that is able to fuse with the freezer paper. Yeah, I mean, like, in a perfect world, I would say 3 pieces of this would be better than 2, but I think 2 will do the job. But yeah, if I'm going to be carrying this around, like if I'm going to travel with all this and everything, I would prefer it a little heftier. But for what we're doing here, I think it's going to be fine. And you know, that's one extra step to fuse it to another one and all that. But yeah, I think, you know, I'm more used to a little bit more fabric, or a little bit more heft to my pieces, template pieces. But I'm not a professional English paper piecer either, so maybe once I got using just these two freezer pieces together, maybe I'd start getting used to that and liking this better. Okay, so those pieces are ready. I guess that's all we have to do here. Spray some starch. Oh wait, so now we got to do, I missed a step here. So we got to do this for the remaining one. So that's all my other alternative little fabrics. So we got our main one is that kind of fun orangey with the yellow and the little tish of blue in. So that we have double of everything. The other ones are just like one color for each kind of pair of a triangle and a petal. So let's get those pieces ready as well. So I am completely done with this fabric now. I don't need that at all. So yeah, I don't know, Bonnie, about the tinfoil method for this, because I read ahead a little bit and I didn't read ahead the whole instructions yet, but we are only going to actually starch 2 sides of these down. We're not going to go and do another side. So there's some other thing that's going to happen. So if we did the tinfoil method, we would be scrunching all of these in at once, and I'm not sure that's what we want to do for these yet. So I'm just going to kind of play this out and see what happens. So all right, I'm going to get my other little fabrics over here, and we will press them, and then we will get some starch ready. So, all right, we'll start with this one. Ooh, we got some little areas that we can use up. That'll be good. So again, just giving it a little press to get it all good and flat. And we need now a petal and a triangle for each one of these. And again, ooh, that's got a little nick out of it. Again, we're going to need enough for that 1/4 inch seam allowance. Maybe I'll get the other one from over here. Yeah, so this little nook will be for the petal, and I will get the triangle from another weird scrap on this. I'm sure you totally could do that, Bonnie. Just do the tinfoil method for all of this. I'm just curious. It seems like the designer might have a few tricks up her sleeve for how to do this, so I'm just kind of curious how this is going to go with her instructions. All right, waxy side down. Ooh, hot. Get that right there. I'm going to make sure that I have a little extra fabric for this particular fabric. This fabric doesn't seem to want to fold and stay put as well as the other ones. All right, I'm going to just trim this. We'll cut one side well, and then we'll just keep pressing, and then I'll cut all of them out. There, just get that enough so I can throw the fabric back into the bin. Ooh, you know, I just said I was going to do more than a 1/4 inch, and I already made this kind of small. Ah, well. All right, 2, done with that fabric. Next up, let's do this pretty pale yellow. I think we got another little easy nook right here that we can use. It actually looks like we might have cut this at the same time as that other little nook. All right, we need petal and a triangle. I got fuzz from the wool on here. I wonder if I can get 2 out of here. We'll get this guy. I got this little nick out of here again. Oh man. How about right like that? Okay, enough putzing around with that. Oh, you're glad, Robin, you're glad I'm trying the tricks first. Yeah, you know, that's why specifically the Splendid Sampler projects, it's done by a lot of different designers. So that's one of the benefits of these particular quilt-alongs is you get the benefit of a bunch of different designers and the way that they're used to designing and instructing and all that. So you pick up little tricks that, you know, you may not have known or tried before. So I'm on purpose trying how they do it a lot of times. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just do like my favorite way of paper piecing or something. But especially ones that are things I've never done before, like these round paper piecing bits. Like in this particular block, gosh, look at all this crazy. Let's go in the corner here. Like this particular project, I want to try how they say, because there's a lot of stuff I haven't done before in the same way that they are. So it's a chance to learn and try something, I think. There we go. We're using up some of these crazy spots on this fabric. Oh yeah, so I'm using starch so far. I think they mention applique glue. Missy mentions applique glue in here. So maybe that's an alternative to starch? I'm not quite sure. All right, I had one more, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, yeah. We have one more to go. I think I had these swirls. Did I like these swirls? I'm not sure I like those. I want to maybe pick another pale yellow. Let's see. And some of these I don't have too much fabric left, so I don't know if I want to use those. Oh, this is awfully pretty. Maybe let's do it. I like this one. We'll do a little like nook off of here. Oh, Missy has her own glue. Oh, okay, so she has an applique glue. Oh, that's interesting. So I'll have to look that up. I wonder if it is like a starch alternative. Oh wait, I wanted this in here. Did I do this one? Oh, I might have another one. Let's see. How many more do I have? Oh, no, I just have one more. So what do we got? We have this plaid, or this gingham. Oh, this is kind of like another little mini gingham. This kind of mottled one. Oh, yeah, we just need one more. I kind of liked the circles. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do the circles. Let's see what it looks like with that blue. So blue, and then these little bits around. Yeah, I think that's sweet. Let's go with this one. That other one was maybe too bright. Let the blue be bright, the bright thing. So, all right, we'll do the circles. Oh, just a itty bitty bit out of this one. Oh, you love the glue, Carol. So Carol, do you use the glue instead of the starch? I think you guys were just talking about it, but I missed some of the comments. I need the last triangle and the last petal. How about there and there? All right, we are fused. All right, so now I'll trim all these out for real, but let's just get rid of the bulky fabric first. Okay, trimming, and then we will start doing the starch, and I'll get the little clover iron out. It's preheating. I'm a little scared of it, like I said, but we'll work it out. Okay. I think we'll just keep the triangles together and the petals together, I think. So when we're starching, we'll just do all of the same thing at once. I think we can kind of clip these little guys off. There. All right. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Should have 6 of these. We'll just round the little edges there. Oh, it's for the English paper piecing part. So is it just kind of, for English paper piecing, I usually use glue. So I have the template and I put a little glue on there and I use that. Maybe that's what she's using it for. So we're going to use the starch before. So Suzanne, you love the clover iron. Okay, you gotta talk to me about that, because from what I remember, so the last time I used the clover iron, I just kept burning myself, and that's no fun. So I think I just got to get the hang of it. Okay, here's my last guy here. So I typically use glue for my English paper piecing. So is that what she's talking about with is that what Missy's glue is for doing the little English paper piecing? So that I think that's like, instead of doing this whole starch and iron process, I think you can just put a dab of glue on and then just fold it over. I think that's super duper easy. But I'm doing that. I'm not sure I can make an insulator thing around the iron because it is so hot. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is a hot piping, I mean, this is as hot as the iron. So if you touch this metal rod here, it's the same as touching a hot iron. You're gonna melt your skin off, basically. So it used to be with these Clover irons, this is like the Clover Iron Mini like 2 or something. So it used to be that it just had this rod. It didn't have this protective plastic around it. But I almost think it's worse with the plastic protector because it's right. It feels like it should be a handle. Like it feels like I should put my hand right here and use it. But you're gonna burn yourself if you do that. You have to hold it back here, and it's kind of an awkward. You know, I'm far away from what I'm working on, and it's just a little awkwardly balanced. You know, my hand wants to go right there. Oh, your iron is different than this, Suzanne. Okay, so maybe that's my issue. Is yours without the guard? That's the only other one I've seen for these little mini Clover irons. But I'm a little freaked out about them. All right, 2, 4, 6. Okay, 6, and let's get these petals. I think these are cut out enough. You can wrap the Insulbrite around the guard. So doesn't it, I mean, like what I'm nervous about is if I wrap something around it like that, I mean, yeah, my hand wouldn't burn, but does it need to like, I don't know, release heat there or something? Like I'm not going to burn the house down or something, am I? John would like that. Came home and my silly iron burned the house down. Oh, you're not sure you like that guard either. Oh, yours doesn't have the guard. See, that's the thing. You know, in theory, it's more dangerous without the guard because you're really going to burn yourself, like, immediately. But there's that visual reminder of, hey, don't touch this thing because it's exposed. Yours has no, oh, you're constantly burning yourself and yours has no protector. Oh, still in the drawer. That's, Valerie, that's like how this was. I haven't used this since the last Splendid Sampler, and I only used it for one block, and then I'm like, yeah, not my favorite thing. And I had to find it in a drawer today, but, you know, I'm giving it another go. But really, with this English paper piecing, I really have liked using glue. And I don't have any special glue. I just use, oh, I guess now I use that Soline pen. But before that, I just used some normal, just not Elmer's, but some glue stick. So any like washable glue stick that you can get in the kids aisle of the craft aisle at like Target or something. I just use that, and it's easy. You just put some glue stick on, on the edge, and then you just fold over, and you're, little bit by little bit, and then your edge just sticks to it. And it's removable too, so because it's washable and it's usually pretty weak, so the glue will hold it just long enough for you to work on the project. So I feel like that's my favorite way of doing English paper piecing right now. I mean, I've tried like thread basting it and all that, and I always just, before I started using the glue, I didn't like the idea of using glue, but man, once I started using it, it just got to be so easy that I just kept doing it. All right, we're ready here. All our pieces are cut out. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get some starch in here. And we're gonna dab starch on the edge, and then we're gonna fold that edge over and then press. So that's and just with that Clover iron, and because we have starch on there, it should stay pretty well. So that's the plan. Let me just read this again. Spray some starch into the lid of the spray can. I'm gonna spray it into here. And use a small paintbrush to apply the seam allowances on 2 sides of each fabric triangle. So I'm going to use the Q-tips, unfold the edge. So we are only going to do 2 edges here. So we're going to go 1 and 2. We are not going to do the 3rd edge. So that's going to just hang loose still. Yeah, exactly, Valerie. You can just totally use a normal glue stick. And then with these guys, we are just going to do 1 edge of them. So we're not going to do 2. So in the end, we should have all 6 pieces with 1 of these edges, and then two edges of the triangle. So that's the plan. We'll scooch these to the side. What I'm going to do now I want my wool pressing mat. I think the wool mat is going to work great for this. I'm going to move my other little template pieces out of the way. My scissors out of the way. Okay. And then I do have this cover on top, again, just to protect my mat from getting burnt or anything like that. So, all right, so let's give this a go. I'm always a little afraid of this starch too. So I'm going to just spray a bit in here. So I got enough to work with. Close that up again. This kind of leaks sometimes, these best press things. All right, let's start with a triangle. So, in theory, I am going to dab some starch on two edges, because we're going to do two edges of this thing. And I think you do actually want it kind of near the edge, because that edge is what we want to have hold. All right, so here we go. In theory, I should be able to use the tip of this to kind of sculpt this edge over it. We're starting with the triangle, which is nice because it's got these straight edges for the petals. We got some curved edges, and you know what? I'm just scared to have my finger there. I'm gonna get the stiletto out. We're gonna like, you know, pretend I'm doing a little surgery here. All right, and I'm gonna just rotate. So I wonder if I need to get more starch there, but we'll see. And I'm sure this is a thing that you just get more and more like dexterous with. But I don't know, we'll just see. I think this is all we need to do here. And, you know, be a little wary about getting your freezer paper with a lot of starch on, because it's wet and, you know, it'll kind of start distorting your freezer paper. But I don't know. I think that's all we need to do right there. Just give it a little press from the front. And I think that is our first triangle. So remember, we only have to do two sides. I'm guessing that this little flap, this little dog ear doesn't matter. Usually they don't matter in paper piecing because they'll just go on the back. It's a cute iron, Grace, but I always burn myself on it, so I don't ever use it. It freaks me out a little bit. So all right, now I need to set this somewhere. Okay, I think we do have the little clover iron thing. Oh man, I'm just a little scared of it. Okay, two more edges. Now this is that fabric that doesn't always press all that well, so we'll see how it does here. All right, I'm gonna use, oh man, I almost just grabbed it there. I'm gonna use the stiletto again. Yeah, and you know, like I said, I typically do the glue method, and that seems to work just fine. But you know, if this is your game, you like this clover iron, then this is a good way to do it. You do want to make sure you get nice sharp points and a nice sharp edge, so get it right up against that freezer paper, and get it up on the freezer paper at this point too, where these two sides converge, because we want that nice point right at the top of the triangle here. Okay, there we go. So two sides again. Oh, I need the UV glove. Yeah, I know, seriously, right? Yeah, and you know, that's a solution. I could just wear like a heat protective glove when I use this, just to make sure. So there we go. We got our nice sharp point right at the top there. That's what we're going for. So that's two. We got 4 more to go. Then we got our curved one. So the petals, that's what will be interesting, because those have that little curve to it. I think it'll be okay though. With curves, you just go itty bitty, like little by little by little, And that's how you get a nice curve. You don't try and do too big of an angle at once. Okay, I'm kind of really happy about this stiletto thing though. And it's metal, which is nice too. So yeah, I think without the stiletto, I'd be getting my fingers in here a little bit more, and that'd be scary. So anything that won't burn would be good, but man, the stiletto is working really well. But you could use like a little scissors would do the trick too. Just anything to kind of get your fingers out of the way, I think. Okay. You know, by pressing it, you're basically you're getting rid of the wetness too. So the starch is, you're drying the starch out. Okay, 3 more. I always want to grab right there. I've said that like 100 times, but it freaks me out every single time. Ooh, this is soaking up the starch, this fabric. All fabrics act a little differently. Yeah, when your freezer paper gets a little too wet, it's, you know, it acts like paper. It just kind of starts, I don't know, dissolving on you, I suppose. So it's a little tough to get that point then. So I want to get the edge wet because that's the part that we need to have the starch on really, but I don't want to get it so wet that my freezer paper is getting all goofy. Cute little bitty triangles. I do like how little this is. I mean, you can just dig in there. So, you know, getting in the groove. I think having the stiletto utensil and this here does the job. But still, this would be perfect if I could get my hand right up in here. But that's when you burn yourself. That's what last time we did this. That's how I burned myself a few times, is grabbing up there. So it's definitely, your body needs to get used to where to hold it. We just have this one and one other one that looks like this, and then we can move on to the petals. And I think that's probably what we'll get to tonight. But we're on our way, so it's like a little puzzle piece for sure, these English paper piecing projects, and this one especially. And there do seem to be, you know, I haven't read all the way ahead yet, but there do seem to be some tricks on getting this together coming up. And actually, it looks like we might be actually doing the English paper piecing on these triangles next. So once we get all these triangles together, we'll have a little hexagon. So that'll be our first little taste at the English paper piecing. And then we have to prep our larger pieces. So the larger pieces are like the outside circle here and then this star. But we'll be putting together the part that goes in the middle of that curvy star piece. This is a pretty fabric. I still really like this one. All right, that's good and flat, and one more hiding. There we are. I might need to spray a little bit more starch in here, and a little. It wants to dry up pretty quickly, especially now. Man, it's so dry here. Gotta water the plants more, probably. Ooh, let's get the stiletto. Make sure to get that point. Oh, these pieces are tiny and like to hide. Yeah, I know. I should. Yeah, you sneeze and they'll fly out of here. So I should make sure to pack them up and get them in a container when I'm not using them. Get them in my I've been saving all these in like a sleeve, a plastic sleeve for a binder. I should make sure to get those in there. Oh, you have 2 humidifiers going. I think we need to get a humidifier. We've been just using those little diffusers, and I don't think those are doing the job. Okay, that's it for our triangle. So let's just peek, because now I'm just want to see them look like a hexagon. And this is on, you know, this is on my weird colored towel here. But I think this will be pretty cute on white. Oh wait, no, it won't be on white. It'll be against that blue. Where'd that blue go? Here we go. Let's put it against this blue. Oh, it's gonna be pretty. Look at that. Cute. Oop, did I? There, like this. And I think that other one goes opposite. There, something like that. Cute. So I think we'll be stitching this together tomorrow, and then we'll be starting that outside piece. And then I'm still gonna do these guys tonight. So those will kind of be on the outside. So we still have this pale look, but we have like this little pop in here still. So I think I'm not going way outside the realm of the quilt yet. So that's good. No, do not cut off the dog ears. So what Gretchen is referring to are these little bits right here. You're not going to have to worry about these at all. They will just disappear. Like when we stitch these 2 edges together, they're just going to hang out on the back here. They're not going to be in our way or anything. So I would not cut those. I would just totally just leave them. All right. Let's get these petals going. So now the petals, we are only going to do one side here. Okay, so let's get the one. I may need to restarch this as I go. Maybe I'll just really soak it in, because I think this will take a little bit of time. Start at the bottom and work our way up. Okay, so for arches like this, I always like going a little by little. So I'm going to just kind of feel the edge of this with the clover iron. Get that edge. And let's see how well I can do this with the iron. We're just going little by little, and you'll make kind of like little pleats as you go almost, I think. But the bigger amount you try and go, the less of a curved edge you're going to get. So just little by little, I think, is the way to do it. And if it bunches up on the back, that's fine. I think I might have cut this particular fabric on the bias a little bit, so it's not pleating as much. Ooh, I think we need to let the iron sizzle on this edge a little bit more. All right, and now I'm to the end, so I'm just going to extend it into that other seam allowance. And remember, we only have to do the one edge according to the instructions. All right, let's flip that around and just give it another press on top. I think that's been helping to flatten it out again. Actually, I think it's just helping to dry out the starch, and that's good. I think that's what we want. But that's a good, nice edge. That's looking good. That's a good curved edge. There's no little bumps in it at all. So yeah, that's looking great. So let's do the other, what is it, other 5 here. Oh, you keep on getting, yeah, because what we're used to is like when I do this with glue, I put glue on this edge and then I get my finger in there and I just press it with my finger little by little by little. So yeah, it's a little different remembering that you got that iron and you don't want to get your fingers in there. It's kind of fun though. I mean, this is relaxing. I could see, you know, once I just make sure I don't burn myself, I could see if I had to do a lot of these, getting into it a little bit. It does feel a little bit like surgery, like we're doing like some science thing here, you know, especially that we can't touch anything, you know. It's just kind of, that's kind of a fun feeling. We're dissecting something. That's what it seems like. But I mean, this is the benefit of these small little irons, is that you can get right in there. You can really be detailed with your edges, and you know, this point can get into places. So there's a benefit. I just was not happy with how much I burnt myself last time. But gotta say, I'm kind of having fun with it today. I think it's so ingrained in me to not touch this now because I'm gonna burn my hand. You know, or I just have this within reaching distance that I am just holding it like this. Or actually, maybe it's that I'm holding this too, and I have two things kind of like far away. Oh, you know what it's like? It's like I'm welding. I got, you know, or I'm doing like circuitry or something. I got my two little, like my little wire and my little, what is that called? Soldering thing. That's what it feels like. You like this method, Catherine? Yeah, I'm having fun so far. Gotta tell you, I was nervous about doing this today, though, but I think I'm getting into the groove of it a little bit. So now I just need like little sparks to start flying up. Then I'd be doing my little welding. Ooh, this one's not wanting to fold as much. Maybe I should have put a little bit more starch on there. I think we'll be okay though. I do like the stiletto in here though, helping me hold bits down. Oh, you wanted to see me go first? This one looked tricky, Valerie. Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this one. This one scared me a little bit, and I thought, well, that's probably a good reason to do it. Get the scary ones out of the way. Then you feel like you can do anything, right? All right, another nice curved edge. This one has got a little, like my freezer paper seems like it's folding funny, but again, I don't think that matters so much. All right, let's, we got 3 more here. Then we can kind of peek at it again. I'm excited to see what this is going to look like. Wow, yeah, this is just soaking into this one. Oh, good, I'm glad this is helping, Valerie. Yeah, I mean, what I've kind of learned with these Splendid Sampler blocks, that if you just go one step at a time, and then it just gets a little less overwhelming. Because, yeah, looking at this thing as a whole, I was like, whoa, that's English paper piece. How am I going to do those curves? How am I going to do any of that? And then on top of it, you know, using this iron again and this starch, so I was pretty nervous. But now I'm kind of having a good time doing it. And you gotta hear that little sizzle, like that little iron sizzle with the starch. I haven't been using starch a lot in this time around. I think just because it kind of burnt up my old ironing board, and I don't really want to have that happen with my nice wool mat here, so I've been kind of just avoiding it. But for something like this, it's working pretty well. This one I can tell I need to kind of dry out that starch a little bit more. Oh, this book is a higher technical level. Oh, is it? Like, I know that there's some, we've had some pretty simple ones in here. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know. It wasn't designed like that, Valerie. It's designed by just the designers, like the Jane Davidson and Pat Sloan, the authors or the people that got this project together, and the last one, they just get designers to design a block, and typically in their medium. And, you know, so if someone is an embroiderer, then they'll ask them to do one with embroidery. I need a little bit more spray here. Or if they typically do English paper piecing, they'll ask them to do an English paper pieced one. And I think that's basically the parameter. It's not like, okay, you do a difficult, like a level, like advanced level one, and you do beginner one. It's not like that at all. It's just kind of up to the designer. So if this is harder, then it's just kind of by coincidence. And it's also kind of like in the eye of the beholder a little bit, because a lot of people, you know, some people might love piecing but not English paper piecing, or they might love you know, I don't know, foundation paper piecing but have never done a lot of, like, you know, never done needle turn applique or something, you know what I mean? So and you know, some people might not have done anything, right? So I think it's just a lot of different levels, and I think it's just a bit different for each person, especially since there's just so many different techniques used in this book, and the other one as well. I definitely learned a ton on the first Splendid Sampler, and now I just feel like I get to use the tools that I used, like the things that I learned with the first one. I can actually be more confident about it in this Splendid Sampler. So this time around, I feel pretty good about stuff. But again, there's still surprises. Like I've never done curved English paper piecing like this before. So something new. But I have tried the starch technique. So you know, used the clover iron once. So yeah, it's just I feel a little bit more confident this time around, which is kind of fun. Makes me feel like I know what I'm doing a little bit this time around. Last time there was a lot of new stuff for me, or at least a lot of stuff that I maybe only had done once or twice, and then I got to dig into it a little bit more. Oh, you do a little bit of everything, and it helps to sharpen skills and learn new ones. Oh, totally. So that's exactly how I am. Like, I know just enough to kind of get the concepts of things, or I have done it like maybe once, but not like practiced. And so like a project like this just gets me, oh gosh, see there I grabbed this and I needed to grab back here. This project just I feel like I get a chance to practice all the skills, you know, like all these little skills, because there's so many different things in this project. I think this is our last one. So after this, I want to kind of visualize it again. So I'll kind of lay this out. I'll get the white out too. I'll kind of see what this is going to look like. Ugh, it's kind of, got to get it flatter here. Man, this fabric's not wanting to do the job. Here, let's try and hit it from the front. See if that helps it. Some fabrics just don't want to play along as well as others. Yeah, it's a little, I think I just got the edge of my freezer paper maybe a little too wet. It doesn't want to, it wants to fold over a little. I think we're probably fine there though. That's going to work out. Try and get it a little flatter here. All right, and I think we're done with the iron. I'm going to turn it off just because it's freaking me out. So here we go. It's got the little like dial down here. There we go. Green light went off. I'm still not going to touch that for a real long time because it's scary. All right, move that out of the way too. Let's just kind of take a peek at this. So we're going to have a white background. So this is the template, but I'm going to just pretend it's my background. because it's white. So let's just kind of mock this up here. So let's just make this a little smaller. Okay, so this will be our middle shape, and it'll be on white. Let's see what it looks like on gray here. There we go. Okay, and now I think we kind of make our shapes. I'm going to just tuck under that edge because remember we only did one edge, so I'm going to just tuck under that. I'm just grabbing. I'm not really choosing where they go. Although these yellow pieces, or these kind of orangey pieces, those are opposite. So I'll get that one tucked up in here. I think it's going to be so pretty with this blue, though. Pretty excited about that. You know, these all meet perfectly at their points. So we'll tuck them up in there a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, obviously this will be much better, but they come to a point right where they hit the circle. They come to a point, and those points meet up perfectly in theory. So that'll be a challenge. Let's hope that's what happens. But there we go. That's pretty. And then let's get these guys in the middle. So these guys look like they're maybe opposite. Oh, and these will be folded over one more. So these will actually be a whole lot smaller than what we're doing here, but you know, not that far yet. So let's, I think they're all kind of going, oh no, they're not all going opposite each other, it looks like. But these two are opposite of each other. Oh, this is gonna be pretty. I'm excited. Oh wait, these go in the middle. Aw, this is gonna be so sweet when we're done with it. I thought it was gonna be maybe a little bright with this blue, but I think these pale colors kind of dull it down a little bit. And then this outside, it will be that white, just the white. So this is probably gonna look a whole lot like this. So yeah, that's not overpowering at all, that blue. And I do like that texture back there. I think that was just kind of a, I mean, we actually still could change it. We haven't done anything with that fabric yet, but I think it's enough. I think it's kind of like a pale teal it'll still like kind of blend into the quilt. It won't be like so out there. Like I think that other teal maybe was a little bright. But yeah, I think this all is going to blend together really well. I'm excited. So I think tomorrow we will be, it looks like we're going to be starting with these guys. So sewing these together to make, probably to make the whole hexagon. And then let's see, fold the paper star shape in half in the directions and press. Okay, it looks like we might be doing, let's see, we might be doing the, oh, interesting. I'm going to have to read this. I'm just kind of reading the instructions ahead a little bit, and I think it's different than what I'm expecting. So I'll read up on that, and we will start the next part tomorrow. But I do think we'll start by sewing these guys together, and I think we'll still, even after doing that, I think we'll still have time to move ahead to the next section. So I'm excited, you guys. All right, I'm going to flip you around, and we'll call it an evening. Ooh, hello, hello. So, all right. Oh, gosh, that's moving crazy today. All right, so here again are the size of these pieces. They are just itty bitty here. But I think that's okay. Like, that's going to make it easy to sew together. Ooh, and you guys, I did get some more. I think I have, yeah, so I did get some more straw needles. So the straw needles are what I use to sew these together, what we will be sewing together tomorrow by hand. And I had that one needle that was so bent. So I bought some new ones. And I bought these first. These are 3 to 9, so sizes 3 to 9. I think the big ones are the 3s. And I realized that I think I used an 11, a 10 or 11 for it. So I bought some 11. So these are nice and skinny. You want some skinny needles for this English paper piecing because we're just getting right up at the edge and we just want to grab a couple little strands and we don't want to make like really big holes. So I got size 11 straw needles or Milner's needles, and that just means they're longer. So they're a little bit longer than normal. Yep, so I'm going to be using the size 11 Milner's or straw needles. So if you have one of those, that's what I'll be stitching with tomorrow and for the rest of this, and I will be using that probably a lot throughout the rest of the Splendid Sampler here. I don't think I put a link to it, but I will try and get one up tomorrow for you guys. But anyway, I will get tonight's video up onto YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, so be sure to click subscribe and the little bell button to be notified when it goes live, and it will be here on the Penguin and Fish page on Facebook as well. So have a great evening, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Good night.